Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today, we have our Week 1 game from the Silphco Draft Association Beast Ball division. For those that don't know, this is a Uber's style draft league singles, obviously. But, the video will basically just be an opening team builder here, followed by the battle itself. Starting things off strong, we have our first overall pick coming to the first game, as it always should be. Xerneas. Its nickname for the week is going to be Bambi, as we go with a Disney theme for our Pokemon. I'd love if you could tell me in the comments for the question of the day, which movies do these names come from? But Xerneas this week is going to be a Choice Scarf with 160 speed. This allows it to outspeed a max speed Scarf Bulu, which could be a slight issue for the team with some of the mons that we brought later on, as you'll see. After that, we put the maximum amount of special attack onto Xerneas just so it hits hard. Xerneas can hit like an absolute truck when you give it a good investment. And then we drop the remaining 32 points into just HP for bulk. Its moveset being Moonblast, Thunder, Thunder Wave, and Defog. Moonblast and Thunder is the only two offensive moves that we need for this matchup. Defog is just to get rid of rocks, obviously, and then Thunder Wave is just decent support in case he scarfs something that I didn't expect to be scarfed that could give us issues, like a scarfed Manatee, possibly. After that, we have our second round pick. You may notice a lot of our high tier picks are coming this week, because they are our best mons by far, but we have Solgaleo, aka Simba. He's an AV set this week to help us deal with the Manaphy, because Manaphy can be a huge problem if I don't have proper preparations for it. You may notice the EVs are a tad bit wonky this week. Basically, I gave it enough bulk so that it can live a +2, 252 Adamant Darkest Lariat from Bulu, along with a Choice Band 252 Adamant Flare Blitz from Entei in the rain, because as you see, he's a rain team. And if it's not out of the rain, we can take a 252 Adamant Entei Flare Blitz, doing only about 80%-ish. 74 to 87 is the roll, I believe. It's just nice to know that if it isn't Choice Band, which is a possibility as well, that we can take one at least. The special bulk in AV is so that a +3, 252 modest Mystic Water Manaphy Surf in the rain only does 90% maximum, which allows us to live one at least. And then if it's not Tail Glow and it's just Calm Mind, Mystic Water 252 modest, it's only about 46 to 54%. We then put EVs into special attack even though we're carrying 3 physical moves so that we can do 46 to 54% on a Thunder, which is very important because Manaphy does give our team quite the issue if it gets going. So this allows us to be able to do a good chunk to it with Solgaleo. And then I didn't want to minus our attack nature by going with a plus special defense minus attack, because we wanted to still be able to hit things like Bulu hard with Sunsteel Strike or the Thunderous with Stone Edge. So I actually went with Sassy for the negative seed nature, and then went on to put our 56 speed EVs into it. This way that Manaphy in webs is outsped by Simba, which is a spoiler, we are bringing webs this week, because webs is a huge matchup bonus for us, being able to help us outspeed a lot of things. But our third mon coming to this team is the Garchomp Bruce. It has a Yacha Berry to help it take some Ice-type moves. Something like Ice Beam from Manaphy it can live, as long as Manaphy isn't Tail Glow. If it's Calm Mind, it can live one. But it has just enough speed to outspeed pretty much anything besides Thunderous. So mainly what we wanted to outspeed was 252 Jolly Entei. And then we just dropped the rest into bulk, and then gave it just a tad bit of attack investment, so that it can still hit somewhat hard with its decent attack stat, and then after a Swords Dance, it can obviously hit much harder. Basically, Garchomp's role for this week with Stomping Tantrum, Stone Edge, Stealth Rock, and Swords Dance is to set rocks and then maybe chip into the Entei a bit. But its main goal will just be rocks, and then hopefully assist with the Entei a bit with Rough Skin, being able to do a little bit of chip to it. Next up, with the fourth mon on the team, is Bucephalon, aka Jangles. He has 208 timids, so that he can outspeed Thundy with a max speed nature. This is really important because otherwise we don't have a reliable way to outspeed the Thunderous. But it's then 252 special attack, so it hits hard, obviously. And then you might notice it has a Salac Berry. So we wanted a HP stat divisible by 4 so that our berry will pop on the last substitute. The Salac Berry is just so that it can outspeed 252 Jolly Relicanth in the rain after that berry. And then after that, we just put the remaining 12 in special defense. You may notice this Bucephalon set is not very typical at all, with Substitute, Calm Mind, Flamethrower, and Shadow Ball. This set originates from a discussion that I had during the draft with Lady Lilac, another member of this division, where she mentioned the fact that substituting on Marowile matchup is probably just a free win for Bucephalon. And then me and Lamaris talked it over a bit and finalized a set that I liked. But I have really high hopes for Bucephalon in this matchup because if they go for Sucker Punch and we get the substitute, Bucephalon can go off from that point. And I don't think it's something that they should expect. After that, we have our Mega Heracross. And he has 132 speed to outspeed Manaphy, Entei, and the rest of the Mons and Webs. Basically everything but Thunderous. Obviously, we then put max attack, so this thing hits like an absolute truck. The rest of it went into bulk. With Bullet Seed, it OHKOs Manaphy. With Rock Blast, it OHKOs Entei. Close Combat does about 70% to Mega Marowile. And then Knockoff is just utility for the team, for the things that we can't hit for super effective or chunk hard. And then lastly, the last mon of the week is Smeargle. He has 176 timid speed, just so he outspeeds Pelipper, who I expect to be their lead. Ideally, Pelipper is the lead, that way we can spore it and then go for webs or stealth rocks. But if not, we have Magic Coat in case they lead one of their fast taunt mons, expecting us to have webs. We can then bounce their taunt back into them. But after that, hitting that speed stat, we just put the rest into bulk. And I feel really comfortable with that team overall that we have assembled this week. I fully expect for them to bring something like Manaphy, Thunderous, Entei, Bulu, Pelipper, and the Mega Marowile. I could see them maybe bringing Savali over Bulu, but I definitely expect the rain to come and maybe Relicanth, because Relicanth can give us issues overall, but I feel confident with what we have assembled. There's been a lot of discussion with Lamaris over this team, and I feel comfortable with it, but let's get into the battle, guys, and see how that goes. Hey guys, unfortunately my live commentary of this battle got corrupted, so I guess we're going to be doing some post-commentary here of the battle, with the replay. Really was looking forward to doing live commentary of this for y'all, and did. But there's no way for me to save that footage, and obviously I can't just reshoot the battle, so we're going to do some post-commentary here, which is alright. It'll give some... I can give some feedback on my thought process and talk about plays that I could have done differently, so we'll get into it here. I can pause the battle at places and discuss things as well, so... We start off here and we lead the Smeargle, and they lead Pelipper. They brought exactly what I expected for the most part, and I even called the lead right, but they switched turn one. I'm assuming they read the Spore, but It's alright. Sash are still intact, so we're getting webs this turn for free. We get the webs. And they go for Swords Dance. This is something that I probably should have seen coming, and Taunt would have been nice to have for, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter a whole lot because Smirger is still living this. We get the rocks up as well, Smirger, so this mon's already done everything that I could possibly want. And at this point, we decide just to sack it, because we don't want something taking a +2 attack from Bulu for free. After this, we go into Solgaleo, I believe. Yep. Because we know we can at least live 1, and we should be able to do a big chunk back. As you see, it does 65, so it's on the lower end of our roll, which we love to see. And it's in range to get KO'd by a Sunsteel Strike. So with that, Bulu being down is big, but unfortunately we lost our biggest mana feed check that we had. And they playing Thunderous in here. I leave Solgaleo in here to take the Thunder. I could have switched to Garchomp, but I was afraid it may have Weather Ball, so we then go into Heracross here and switch out to Garchomp, scouting for Hurricane, and they do just have Thunder, so we know that it isn't probably packing Hurricane, or it would have went for it there. They then switch back into Pelipper after Rain ended, which is also part of the reason we went Garchomp. Stone Edge does 45 to Pelipper, which is just really good chip to have on it here. We could have went for Swords Dance here, but I decided just to attack again. And we do 26 to Manaphy. Here, you'll notice that I am just attacking Manaphy. And I let it get a Tail Grow here, which is kind of unfortunate, but at this point my main goal was just trying to chip it with Garchomp and let it sack Garchomp here, because I knew I could deal with everything else with webs up. They go for Rest with Hydrate in the Rain. And here, they're going to KO Garchomp after we get a little bit of chip on it, but it's alright at the end. I didn't want to switch in anything to Manaphy to take a full blunt attack. And I knew that Heracross coming in with Skill Rank Bullet Seed would always KO it. So I felt comfortable going on and sacking Garchomp there, even though the 3 to 5 doesn't look exactly the best on paper. But we get the KO of Heracross, which was really good because Manaphy is what scared me the most on this team, and I felt really comfortable after this point being able to win. We switch out Heracross here, which we probably could have kept in knowing that it is just Thunder, but I wanted to keep Heracross healthy in case Entei was Extreme Speed. Xerneas Moonblast picks up Thunderous quite easily. The Rain ends here, and they go back into Pelipper to reset Rain. I'm assuming this is so that Marowak can maybe live with Flamethrower from Blacephalon, but Xerneas just gets another KO here. And at this point they go Entei, and they do a misplay here by snarling first instead of Extreme Speeding. Not that it matters, because Heracross was always going to KO it after this turn, but it is just chip onto Entei that they didn't have to take in case that, for some reason, I didn't carry Rock Blast. But with it being minus speed from webs, Heracross just comes in here and cleans it up quite easily with Rock Blast, which then gives us a full HP Heracross and Blacephalon against Marowak, which at this point I knew I was going to win because we had our surprise substitute tech in the back. But the attack drop here hurts. I forgot to calc this in preparation, so our close combat only does about 50%, but it doesn't really matter. They hit the play left, which is unfortunate because Heracross could have got another kill here if they missed. But we then go into Blacephalon, and we catch them hard with the substitute Blacephalon as they go for Sucker Punch. This, in practice, made me extremely happy on the spot that this crazy idea that was formed several weeks ago actually worked. And we pick up the KO in the Rain with the Flamethrower for a 1-0 win in Week 1. Could have played cleaner for sure in places. Overall, it was kind of sloppy by me, allowing some things to be risked. I could have KO'd the Thunderous when I sent out Heracross because it's living 1 Thunder at least, but overall, the Mons did what I wanted them to do, and Bucephalon's substitute got to kill a Marwile, which makes me extremely happy. My opponent does have a YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description for everybody. Go check him out. He's a good guy. And, yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I hope y'all enjoy this league. I'll continue uploading this as my battles occur. And I'll catch you on the next video. See ya!